Good morning, everybody. Wake up.
Wake up, wake up.
In Provincetown. This week featuring
Wake up, wake up.
Can I have some coffee?
Wake up, wake up.
Make it strong, please. Hey. Oh. Hey.
Wake up, wake up.
Oh. No,
You
really.
are
Can I have some
alone.
coffee?
Wake up, wake up.
Good morning, everybody. Happy Friday. Happy last Friday of calendar summer, September 22nd. Officially, fall begins at 2:50 a.m. this night, or tomorrow morning.
That's
Tomorrow
such a
night?
bummer.
Why?
I love fall, and I love that everyone loves fall, but it just like every leaf that falls, it just means one moment closer to being frigid.
You're a summer boy.
Very
There are
much.
two types of people. The type who go, oh dang, summer's almost over, and the type who are like, let me pull my sweaters out from under the bed.
Yeah, it's not me.
No?
I want to wear short shorts and tank tops every day of my life.
You do?
Yeah.
I don't know why I thought you were more autumnal than you are.
I don't feel
How
right wearing a lot of
sad.
clothes. I'm not into layers.
Why don't you move to somewhere really, really warm?
Because places that are warm year round suck.
You've
there's
tried
not-
them.
There's not one good place on the planet that's warm year round. Sorry.
Thailand.
Okay. Yeah. That might be a bit of a culture shock for moi,
Yeah.
for a native New Englander, but you know. How was your week?
My week was so eventful and delightful. It was a really, really great week.
I love that for you.
We survived Hurricane Lee.
Yeah.
Yeah. We survived Hurricane Lee last weekend. You know, the town really battened down its hatches. There were some places that were closed on Friday, some places preemptively closed on Saturday. A lot of people were very, very concerned that we might get hit with something bad. Fortunately, we did not here. So, you know.
It was very windy on Saturday. We got a decent amount of rain, but honestly nothing crazy.
No.
The trajectory and the news cycle of the storm was very odd. I was paying attention kind of early, and the early projections had it hitting Cape Cod straight on. Literally, the eye of the storm was going right over Provincetown, and it was categorized as a Category 5, which if we get hit by a Category 5 storm from the south, it would be horrific.
That would be bad.
It would be very, very bad. The thing about flooding in Provincetown is like the flooding really only happens when we get winds from the south. And I think because of the way the hurricanes spin, we'd be getting winds from the north, I think. But I think the storm surge would be coming from the south, so it would not be good.
Yeah.
But over time, it weakened while it was over the ocean. It ended up making landfall as a tropical storm, which is still worrisome depending on other weather conditions, but in general isn't as bad as obviously a Category 5 hurricane. And it was funny, as it was downgraded to a tropical storm, that's when everyone started freaking out. And it was
Well,
like,
just as it got closer.
yeah.
People were like, oh. There were people, I mean, I'm guilty of this, vacation brain, when you go somewhere and you just completely check out of news, anything.
Oh, right.
There were people, like tourists, who were like, hurricane? Like 2 days before it was supposed to be here. And I was like, have you not, you don't look at the weather app or anything?
Yeah, especially as you're going on a beach vacation. I feel
Yeah.
like the weather would be definitely something you're checking out.
Blissfully unaware, half the people. But I mean, fortunately, it wasn't bad. And over-preparedness is not a bad thing. People were like really, really ready, even though nothing ended up happening.
I do feel like because of the timing of it, I feel like we all work like crazy all summer. We do our shows, we work in restaurants, we do everything. And then like, I feel like the first couple weeks of September, any minor inconvenience, you're like, guess I can't do it. You're like, shut it all down. And I feel like people use the storm as an opportunity, which I don't think is a bad thing. It's like, take a Saturday off.
Yeah, it's over. That's a wrap.
Yeah, there were some restaurants that closed both Saturday and Sunday. But I did hear the restaurants that were open were insanely busy because of that.
It was busy.
Yeah. Town seemed a little empty because of it. I think some people stayed away,
People got scared.
which is for the best. Like if it were to have been a really bad situation, it would be best to not have a bunch of tourists like complaining that they can't get a reservation at 8 o'clock as half the town's flooding. Because you know that's what would happen.
You're
What
right.
do you mean the town's flooding? I have a dinner reservation. Like that would.
We have a really great show for you guys today. Harry, tell them who's here.
I sat down with the Council on Aging this past spring, so I edited that video up for y'all today. We also have Blake Allen and Tina Burner coming in to talk about their one-night only musical premiere tonight, The Farmyard Follies at the Crown and Anchor. You can get your tickets now.
Our friend Ann Wood is here to talk about the Homeless Prevention Council's comedy show. Are you gonna submit yourself?
No, I'm not funny.
Yes, you are.
When?
All the time. You're being funny right now.
Why, thank you. Everyone in the room is like, I don't think so.
Looks aren't everything, said someone off camera in a mean way.
Someone off camera.
In a mean way.
We also have a crew from the Center for Coastal Studies coming in to chat.
Yay.
Yeah, our yearly check-in with the Center for Coastal Studies. I love it.
I know. I hope they brought mugs and t-shirts, Agnes.
I hope they brought a jar of slime.
No, some of her homemade beer.
Oh yeah, that too.
We'll get to that later. But first, what's new?
What's new? How was your show? I asked you how your week was and you didn't even mention it. What did you said it was, you had a full week and then didn't even mention your show.
Yes, I did have a full week. So I had my post office cabaret show Wednesday night, which was really, really fun. Great crowd, enthusiastic, except for that poor woman in the front row who, so I was telling the story about that time this summer when I got kicked out of that sex party that I didn't know I was going to.
I don't know this story.
You don't? I didn't tell that on this show? It's not really 9 a.m. material, but here it goes. No, I had this friend visiting who used to live here, but doesn't anymore. And these people, they used to know what was going on. And so this friend and I, we go to the house, we go to Spiritus, it's 2 a.m., and he's like, I'm not done having fun. My best friend is at an after-hours party, and he just said we could go, let's go. So we go to this house on a street that I've never been on before, which I do enjoy this time of year. I'm like, all these summers in, I'm still discovering these little, pockets of debauchery. We walk into this house and it's like you're hit by that hot, thick air. Like my glasses instantly fog up.
Thick what?
Air.
You got hit by what?
Hot, thick air.
Air.
My glasses fog up. And so we're standing by the door. I take my glasses off because I can't see. And somebody runs up to us and goes, who invited you? And I was like, this is the rudest after hours party I've ever been to. And I put my glasses on and I'm like, oh, somebody's getting fucked right there in the kitchen. I was like, this is not an after party, it's a sex party.
Are there after hours parties that aren't sex parties?
Yes.
Okay, there are.
I've been to lots of those. They're fun. People are often playing piano or banjo.
That's true. I have been.
Here they were playing the skin flute. No, and the person was like, who invited you? And my friend goes, one of the hosts of the party. And the bouncer, the bouncer was like, which one? And my friend goes, Brad? And now I'm like, we look so fucking stupid right now. And the guy was like, there's no one named Brad here. You guys need to go. And I was like, I just got kicked out of a sex party.
Well, you're kind of never in it.
I know. I could see it. I'm in the corner watching you fist him. Oh. It's early.
This is why the woman left?
No, so like somebody literally gets up the front row and I'm like, wait, where are you going? She was just moving because Mark said she had a mask on and maybe she felt like she was too close to the stage. The show otherwise went really, really great.
Yeah.
As I told you earlier, I'm in my Rhythm Nation era of heavy subject matter. We talked about abortion, we talked about metabolism, and we talked about the crystal meth problem here in town.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
Who are your guests?
All through song. Cherie Marcel, who did a number from her Pink show, she did a number from her Whitney Houston show. Damn. She knocks me out every single time she opens her mouth to sing, so beautiful. And my new friend Tori McLean, who sang The Joke by Brandi Carlile. Do you guys know Brandi Carlile?
I don't.
Go after this show, or even during it, watch Brandi Carlile singing The Joke at the Grammys. It's like one of the greatest moments of television, like singing ever. So they knocked him dead. Everybody had a good time.
That reminds me, I hung out with Kristen and Katie, and we did Overstand, and we drove around on the beach, and we ran into Tori while we were out there.
Really?
Yeah.
Love her. It was a great time.
Yeah.
So thank you to everybody who came. We have one more show on October 26th. It's the Thursday leading into Halloween weekend.
Is it going to be spooky?
Oh, very spooky.
Is Halloween weekend before or after Halloween?
Halloween weekend. Spooky Bear is before Halloween.
Okay.
So the closing weekend of the Red Inn, October 28th and 29th. And then Halloween is on a Tuesday this year, which is it's weird for town, but that means we got a couple.
So how many costumes do we need? 6?
Yeah.
6 or 7
starting
costumes?
Thursday, yeah, all the way through Tuesday.
Work.
Have enough costumes for every single party and event. There's gonna be so much going on that weekend. There always is. Hopefully the weather's nice.
I'm excited. What are you going to be, Barbie?
No.
Oh.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm gonna figure that out. What are you gonna be?
I don't know. Probably Barbie.
Yeah.
I think everyone should be Barbie.
Still?
Yeah.
What about Megan? Remember
It's
Megan the
year of
murderous
Barbie.
doll?
Oh, right.
Back when that came out, everybody thought we were gonna be that.
Yeah. Then Barbie took over the world.
I think Megan should murder Barbie.
That sounds like a party idea.
Right?
Yeah.
Wait, so how was your week? What did you do?
I already talked about everything I did.
That's it? That's everything you did?
I didn't do much. Sonny, my good friend Sonny, who's lived in Provincetown for the last few years, it was his last few days in town before he heads out to live in San Francisco with his boyfriend.
He's moving to San Francisco?
Yeah, so I did hang out with him a bit. Yeah, and I worked for you one day.
You did. Thank you so much.
Yeah,
you
of
said that it
course.
was kind of a nightmare.
Yeah, sometimes people in general, no matter where you go, sometimes people are ridiculous, and it's like, whatever, someone's being ridiculous, it's fine. But something about Tuesday, every single person was being ridiculous, and it just threw me for a loop.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I kept being like, okay, you gotta let it go, like get your head back in the game. And I'd turn to be like, what can I get you? And someone would be like, can you grill the oysters from the raw bar? And I'd be like,
But lots of that.
yeah, lots of just ridiculous things.
You didn't have to kick anybody out, though.
One guy thought he got kicked out. This is what I mean. It was crazy. This guy sits down, and we were like, "Oh, unfortunately, we're on a wait for the bar. If you're just having a drink, like you can enjoy that on our gorgeous, gorgeous patio." And then he threw a temper tantrum and was like, "I've never gotten kicked out of a bar before in my life." And I was like, "That's really not what we're doing." But okay.
Banned for life.
Yeah, it was a fun night.
Well, thank you for doing that.
yeah, of
I really
course.
needed that extra time.
Yeah. Should we do some news?
Yeah.
Okay. Last week we talked about everyone who got canceled last week. Oprah, The Rock, Mila Kunis, Ashton Kutcher, Drew Barrymore. I feel like there was someone else who got canceled. Russell Brand.
Oh, right.
All different degrees of cancellation. But Drew Barrymore released an apology video last week that she almost immediately taken down after she got, people were not pleased with it.
With the apology video?
Yeah.
Why?
I just think people watching videos of extremely wealthy people in their extremely giant homes crying, I just feel like people aren't into that anymore.
Well, you couldn't see how big her house was.
Yeah. Well, my
you?
favorite thing about
Was she walking around crying?
Yeah, she's just walking, climbing her steps. It's a 10-minute video, and the whole time she's climbing stairs. No, it's funny, the Ashton Kutcher and Mila Kunis apology video that was just in front of this wooden wall, and then someone pulled their Architectural Digest spread to be like they were sitting by their pool.
Where else are you supposed to apologize?
Well, that's the whole thing. You know, their PR agent is like, pick a space that is unassuming, and so they picked this like wood wall, and then they were like, they're sitting by their pool.
Well, are they uncanceled or not?
I think Drew Barrymore's the only one who might be on her way to being uncanceled. She did release an apology video. She apologized to anyone she had hurt in the decision. CBS supported her decision, and she decided that her show was supposed to come back this Monday, which was its scheduled return. I guess some of the, not confusion, but I feel like she felt like she was going to be okay because she never had to shut down her show. Her show just naturally ended before the strike.
Right.
And then she was just going to have it come back when it was planning on coming back just without writers.
Right.
And people didn't care for that. People.
Did she even know that there was a strike then?
When it shut down
She's
the
the
first time?
vacationer that doesn't look at the weather app.
Exactly.
Drew.
But people were calling her a scab.
Oh.
And, yeah. And there were all these like PR people talking about how you can like destroy 30 years of goodwill with the public in a minute.
No, listen. You can't rip somebody a new asshole for doing the wrong thing, and when they apologize and try to make it right, you rip them a new asshole for that too.
Yeah, I kind of agree.
Like, come on. She didn't know she was wrong. Once she realized she was wrong, she took it back.
Yeah. She did say, I've listened to everyone and I am making the decision to pause the show's premiere until the strike is over.
Good for you, Drew. Thank you for choosing to do the right thing, even though it took you a minute. Sometimes it takes people a minute to learn and decide to do the right thing, and that's okay,
and
isn't it?
I do think the biggest success or the biggest good thing out of this situation is that it did prove that like the people are on the side of the strikers.
Right. Oh, for sure.
Yeah, which is good because hopefully the strike will end quicker because of that.
Uncancelled Drew Barrymore.
But there are other daytime talk shows that are currently airing new episodes. The View, Tamron Hall, and Live with Kelly and Mark. And I wonder why they're not canceled.
I guess, I don't know.
Can we also talk about what my computer auto-corrected Tamron to?
What? Stupid.
Not Tamron. Let's see what else.
You're not going to just tell everybody what it is?
It was Tampon Hall, which is not that person's name.
It is now.
Yeah, exactly. That's a good drag name, though.
Tampon Hall.
Yeah. So for the next year, the Academy Museum of Motion Pictures is going to be presenting a show, John Waters, Pope of Trash. It's a comprehensive exhibition dedicated to artists' contributions to cinema. John Waters went over and he said that he was shocked that Debbie Harry's original wig from the Hairspray movie was there because he thought it had been destroyed. It has a bunch of stuff, costumes, props, handwritten scripts, photographs, and more. Divine costumes, really cool stuff. And over the week, this past Monday, John Waters also got his start on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. He was joined by Mink Stoll and other iconic John Waters cinematic universe celebrities. Yeah, really cool stuff. One of the quotes he made, he said, "I want anyone who is weird, ugly, marginalized, and bullied to come and see it and understand that while the world might be stacked against you, you can make it."
Now's a good time to say rest in peace to Sharon Nesp, who was in John Waters' circle of friends and who also lived in town and worked in Spiritus for a long time. Did you know that?
No, I did not. That's so cool.
Recently passed away. Thank you for everything you did, Sharon. We will miss you.
Yeah. Lakia Mondale this past week competed in the National Showgirl Supreme and won.
She won?
Yeah, Lakia Mondale is the 2023-2024 National Showgirl Supreme. Congratulations, well deserved. One of our hometown favorites. Congratulations, Lakia.
Congratulations, Lakia.
In other congratulatory news, the Provincetown Brewing Company hosted their second annual Provincetown Brewing Company label contest. The Provincetown Brewing Company raised over $21,000 for Casas, which is our local cat and animal shelter. They do this every year, basically. They do a seasonal brew for the fall, and they do their contest for a pet to be featured on the can. Last year it was, what's his name, the pig, Bartholomew the pig on the can. And this year, our good friend Michael Bruning's dog Gunner is going to be on the label. Gunner passed away this past summer, and he is on Gunner's Good Dog Ale. It is on draft.
Aww.
Yeah, it's really cute. It is on draft and in cans. You can purchase it at the Provincetown Brewing Company now. It's one of the kickoff events for Provincetown Pet Week. And it culminates tomorrow with a pet parade. It gathers at the Church of St. Mary right on Commercial Street. There's a pet parade down Commercial Street, and that ends at Pet Tea at the boat slip.
Are you going to Pet Tea?
No, I have to work. I used to not work on Saturdays, so I used to go to Pet Tea all the time. I would typically bring Clay's dog, Abby, because Clay would work on Saturdays, so I would bring Abby. And she'd always be so excited, and then she would get on the deck and be like, "Just kidding, I hate this."
Really?
Yeah.
She's not social?
She's super social, but then she gets on the deck and she no longer, something about it. She's like, "This is weird. I'm not supposed to be here."
I've never been to it.
Yeah.
I'm always working. Hurry.
There is art controversy in Palm Springs this week. So there is a Palm Springs HIV and AIDS memorial that just went up. It is a 9-foot sculpture in Palm Springs Park, and it is honoring those we've lost to HIV and AIDS. There is just controversy over what it's like a statue, and it's like a circle with a hole in it, and there are two sides to it. I have a picture of the front side. It's very beautiful, but the back side I didn't get to put a picture in, but people are saying that it looks like a butthole.
So what's wrong with that?
I just feel like I read like 3 or 4 articles about it, and no one would like say it, but I think the general consensus is that having an HIV and AIDS memorial that looks like a butthole is not great.
And that's the picture you chose not to show?
Well, I just grabbed a picture, and then while I was doing more research about it, I realized there was a backside in that. Because I was like, it's just a circle with a hole in it. Why are people saying it looks like a butthole? And then I saw the backside of it, and I was like, that looks like a butthole.
Do you think it was intentional?
I really hope not.
Was it bleached?
Stop it.
It's white. It's a white structure.
Yeah, one person described it as a piece of art looking for a purpose rather than the other way around. Yeah, but the commission that runs the public art in Palm Springs is considering changing it.
No, so in other words, get out to Palm Springs to see the butthole sculpture before they take it down.
Yeah, honestly, sometimes controversy is good, and it'll be a draw.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it joins. Some of the public art in Palm Springs is odd. Like there's like a big area where there's just a bunch of babies with giant heads crawling around. Have you ever seen that? And I'm just like,
isn't there the Marilyn Monroe sculpture?
Yeah,
they should put the butthole next to Marilyn Monroe so it looks like the butthole is blowing her skirt up. Wouldn't that be cool?
You should get on the Arts Commission in Palm Springs.
I
think that's a
am
great
on
idea.
it now.
Yeah. I think I just have one more news story. Last week we talked about Lauren Boebert getting kicked out of the Beetlejuice musical, and just after the show aired, they released the full footage of her in the audience, which there was more realizations happen. Obviously, last week I reported that she was vaping, taking pictures, and that was actually
Jerking that guy off, and he's groping her
well,
boobs.
that's what came out after the full video. If you watch the full video, it did appear that she was groping her date, and her date was groping her. Her date was Quinn Gallagher, a 46-year-old Democrat who owns an establishment that does host drag shows.
Reaching across the aisle.
Which I was like, who cares? Which at first I was like, who cares? But she actually released a statement. She said, all future date nights they broke up. All future date nights have been canceled, and I've learned to check party affiliations before I go on a date with someone.
She also said before the tape of her vaping came out, she's like, I wasn't vaping. And then they showed that footage, and she goes, okay, I know how this looks. You guys.
That I'll actually give her, because I know friends that just mindlessly suck on their vape constantly, and they probably wouldn't realize it.
At a regional production of a Broadway show?
I was just chatting with someone, and they said they vaped on the boat slip deck and they got yelled at, and then they mindlessly did it again 30 seconds later and got kicked out because it's just such like a
force of habit.
Yeah. I don't know if you know, on TikTok there's a comedian who does Patti LuPone impressions.
No, I want to send me that.
But he got his big break, and he is actually in the Beetlejuice musical, and he posted a video about it, and he did say that he noticed someone taking flash photography, which ended up being Lauren Boebert.
I mean, maybe she was just in a blackout. She needs help, maybe. Maybe she was like mitching.
Stop it. Let's chat with Anne.
Anne Wood!
Could jump on in.
Hi, Anne. How are you?
Good.
Good to
Thanks
see
so
you.
much for coming in again.
Thanks for having me.
Of course.
So tell us about this show.
Yes, so this is awesome. I decided, I was in New York in June looking for a writing job, but there are no writing jobs, strikes and all that. And so I decided to write stand-up comedy, so I did it just 3 times in 10 days. But it was so fun. I'm like, why are we not doing this in Provincetown?
You must be good at it. I feel like if you think stand-up is fun, that means you're good at it.
It's so fun. Yeah, but I used to be a stripper. So
Okay.
if you were ever a stripper, you don't have those nightmares about being naked on stage in front of people. Between that and public speaking, it's like not a big deal.
That should be a bit. Like I used to be a stripper, so I'm actually more comfortable naked on stage.
Totally. And my parents made the mistake of making me take dance lessons. That backfired.
So you're a really good stripper.
Yeah, you know. But the cool thing that happened was also because of the actor strike, which isn't cool, but it's cool because there's a guy in Truro who's been in his family's home since the summer, and he stayed because of the actor strike. His name's Ethan Hirschenfeld, and he is a comedian and an actor, and he's widely known, and he's in a bunch of stuff. When you see him, you'll know him. Anyway, he was in Truro, and he's dying to be on stage again, so he got in touch, and he's going to headline. So that's going to be awesome. And it's 7 o'clock on Sunday at the Bradford, which agreed to do it. And it's free. It's just for donations, and it's all the money's going to Homeless Prevention Council, which I work for. I'm the person in Provincetown people get in touch with if they need help keeping their house or finding a place. There are no places. But yeah, so this homeless prevention thing, it's not like sanctioned by the homeless prevention, but they're getting all the money.
Great.
I didn't want them to get involved with what might happen on stage.
Right.
Not
They do.
affiliated, but
No.
the benefactor.
Yeah, the jokes and opinions expressed here are solely that of the performer.
Well, maybe. We don't know.
So how people can pay $5 and then you get a 5-minute set, right?
Yeah, it's like so when I went to New York, I was like, I'm definitely going to do this stand-up thing, and I looked online, and what they do is $5 for 5 minutes practice, right? And I talked to Ethan because I was like, what's the impetus of this 5 minutes thing? And it's the gold standard of late night TV. If you watch Johnny Carson and anybody that was on his show, it's 5 minutes, like exactly the guest stand-up thing. So I was like, that's really cool. And plus they also say in Hollywood, nobody can watch more than 5 minutes, which I would say reading, they can read more than 5 minutes, but now they can't watch.
Right. TikTok has done us all in for our attention spans.
So, but it's going to be really fun. Billy Huff's going to do it.
Oh my God.
Can't wait.
He just told me last night. Yeah. Michael Stutz.
Michael Stutz is doing it too.
Yeah, he like signed up second. He's like the most excited.
I believe you.
Bob
gonna
has
be
Sunday
bad.
night
That's
off.
why
He's
this
funny.
I do have some. Maybe I'll come and do this. 7 o'clock on Sunday at the
Yeah,
Governor
but you
Brethren.
gotta tell me ahead of time.
I
Because
do?
I
When do
gotta
you need
make
to
up
know?
the list. Sunday morning. I got a
Sunday,
few
okay.
spaces open.
I think I'm gonna do this, Ann.
Really? I think I'll write it
Yeah.
down.
Okay.
You
Thank
can
It's a 5 solid minutes though. The microphone gets taken away at 5 minutes.
Oh, that's
Can I be
fine.
the mic taker?
Yeah, you can.
We have a very enthusiastic
You
mic
like
taker over
the
here.
gong? Boing. But yeah, so they'll get a flashlight in the eye at 4 minutes, and then they have to nod at me, and then they're out
Okay.
at 5. But
love that.
it should be fun.
That sounds like
And
a
there's
good time.
actually like little hints on the internet about how to write a 5-minute setup. Because if you
Oh.
write it, it's way easier.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And you can use notes.
Mm-hmm.
Notes
Yeah.
are fine.
A lot of people think they can get up there and just like talk for 5 minutes and be
Yeah.
funny. It
Bad
doesn't quite
idea.
work like that. I mean, just watch the show.
We don't have writers. That's why we're still doing
That's
this
why
show.
we're not striking, exactly.
So you're not scabs
Because
after
no
all.
one's
No.
writing anything.
Scab free.
What type of work does the Homeless Prevention Council do?
So basically in Provincetown, and it actually goes all the way down to Harwich, I think, but I'm only Provincetown. We help people look for homes, get them on lists, which are years long right now in Provincetown. They're not even taking wait lists for 1-bedrooms in Provincetown anymore.
Wow.
It's bad. So, and then when people have housing, if like something in their life occurs that's crazy and they don't have money, but you know, if you can find them a couple months rent, they'll be back on their feet and they won't lose their housing. We do that. And when the people out in the street, like when the storm was coming, I had to go find all the people that live outside
Right.
and figure out where they were going to be. So, all that kind of stuff. And trying to keep locals local is my big thing.
Yeah. A lot of people think of like homeless and they're go like, oh, that's not me, or but like the way our housing works in town, people are closer to losing their. People are
mean-
so often close to losing their homes.
And
so-
you're always stressed out about where you're going to live, right? Like
Yeah.
one time I moved 13 times in 3 years.
Oh my God.
Yeah, no, it was insanity. And I have all these books, so I couldn't have my books until I got this apartment that I was on a wait list for a long time. So, but now I don't really ever have to move.
Great. So you know you have double the amount of books.
Now I have all my books, but there's still no heterosexual guys, so I don't know what I'm doing here.
Right.
Problem. I was like, New York, there's straight guys, I swear. I'm telling you, the Village is less gay than Provincetown.
Really?
Yeah, way.
That actually tracks. Yeah.
Most places are less gay than
Everywhere's
Provincetown.
less gay than Provincetown.
Right. Very
Yeah,
true.
yeah. Did you guys hear last night that a woman got jumped in the West End by 3 guys?
No.
Yeah, 2 held her down and 1 fixed her hair.
Check out Sunday night's comedy show.
Is that in your type 5, Ann?
It's not. It killed in New York, though. Here, I'm not going to use it.
I think that would work here, but yeah.
But nah.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for coming in.
Thank you for having me. 7 o'clock Sunday, Bradford, free, give money, give all your money to
How can they
Homeless
reach out to you to
Prevention.
sign up to do a 5-minute set?
You have to email me.
What's your email?
It's confusing because I have my maiden last name in it. It's annkhalilwood@gmail.com. But I can give it to you. I'll put it under your post online.
Okay.
Perfect. Awesome.
Thank you so much.
Thanks for
Have
being
a
here.
good day.
Let's check out the Council on Aging. I hung out with them this past spring. Check it out. Morning, everyone. We are at the Veterans Memorial Community Center. We're going to be stopping into the Council on Aging and chatting about everything they've got going on, all their programming. It's going to be a lot of fun. Let's go. Okay, so we are here at the Council on Aging, and we're going to be seeing everything they've got going on today. It seems like you've got a lot of activity here in the building today.
We do. It's busy. We love that. That's the best.
Let's see what we got.
All right. We have our morning yoga classes just letting out.
Awesome.
Good morning. We have 4 yoga classes a week and several other fitness classes that Shane can talk about. But this is our fitness room that we share with the rec department.
Really cool.
Yeah. And this room, if you listen, Shane, you can say what's going on in
This
here.
is our virtual Wii Bowling. So we have 2 teams, about 8 people, I think, right now bowling away.
They are
They
really
can
good.
Yeah, they are very good. It can get pretty rowdy in there, even though it's
Sure.
virtual. So
I've done Wii bowling before. I know
Have
it gets
you?
rowdy.
It's fun, isn't it?
Definitely.
It's really fun. And then we're really fortunate because we have a room that when this was the elementary school was the art room and science lab. So it has, we've adapted it really well for our arts classes. And this is one of our classes here. This is our painting class with Steve Kennedy. We're doing amazing work.
Really cool. So this is Steve Kennedy. He's the instructor of the art class here at the Council on Aging. And so is this the typical crew for the painting class?
We're missing Michael Bredler and Penny, who I believe is overseas. So, but yeah, this is the rest of the crew, and it's a good class. People come back year after year here. It's almost feels a little bit like family. I like that too.
So we are sitting down with Chris, the director here at the Council on Aging, and also Shane, the program director. Thanks for sitting down with us today.
Thank you for having us.
You've got such an incredible program here. I imagine, especially specifically our community, it is there's so much value in a program like this. So as the program director, what do you think are the most popular things that people come in for?
I would say most often it's the fitness classes. I definitely see a big increase in people that show up for those. I think it's great to be fit and do something to stay active, but they also work as places to socialize as well, and I think that's equally as important. Our lunch bunch also is a popular program. We have over 30 people that show up for that every Wednesday. We serve them lunch. They don't have to do anything. They just show up, and again, it's another socializing place for them.
So Chris, what do you think are like the overarching goals of the program?
Our main mission is to offer a safe and welcoming place for people to come. I think, especially coming out of the pandemic, we really learned the importance of socialization and social connection for all ages, but especially for older adults. So I think that was really emphasized to us, the importance, because that's what people were missing, they were missing the classes, the workshops, all the events that we have going on here, but they were really missing that connection to people. So that's our goal, is ways for people, a safe, welcoming place for people to come to see other people and socialize.
So coming out of the pandemic, what were the kind of the goals with programming and getting people back to feeling comfortable to come to gather?
That's a really good question, because everybody was at a different place in terms of their comfort level with being around other people, because none of us were used to that. So we had gone completely virtual during the pandemic. We had lots of programming virtually. Forget the stereotypes about older adults and technology. People were able to learn and engage. It was fabulous.
That's great. It was learning for everyone.
It was for everybody. And we did it. We taught them remotely, so that was pretty amazing. But then we went to a hybrid where we were continued to do some remote programming, and began to open more and more programming within the center, which is when Shane came.
Yeah.
So you came on right after, kind of as the pandemic was getting more comfortable with.
Yeah, I think it was it was last January when I came on. Most of the programming was still remote, and I know we were doing our lunches delivery, not allowing people in the building. I want to say it was in May of 22 is when we really started to bring people back in and have them start filling up the classrooms and the programs and stuff.
So what type of programs have you expanded upon while being here?
When I first started, I want to say there were about 3 a day that we were doing. And looking at the calendar now, I'm struggling to find space to fit in programming, but it's definitely not. It's definitely not. We've expanded a lot of the fitness programming that we have. We started a grains class, learning about different grains. We have a music salon, so people come in and listen to different performers that we bring in and invite in to play the piano or to sing, play guitar. We have in the next room the Wii bowling is happening. So it's just, every month I'm trying to find new programs and add more to our already existing calendar. I definitely can see more and more people showing up each month. So it's been great.
And we have some looms behind us.
Yeah, we're really fortunate. It's rare to have, but we have accumulated some looms thanks to some through our friends' fundraising organization and some donations. And we have a weaving class going on right now and have been for a few years actually. So that's really special.
That's really cool.
Really special. I think our arts classes are really, we're so fortunate to be in Provincetown because we just have, I mean, artisans everywhere and they're so generous with their time and we're really fortunate. We have great arts classes.
What would you say to people that aren't sure, that are maybe thinking about coming in to join a class or some programming? What would you say to them, to people who are unsure?
Oh my gosh, I would say come take a tour, let us show you what we're doing. A lot of people don't know about the senior center until like maybe they want to volunteer or they need a service. And we have lots of services with transportation and outreach and nutrition programs. And that's when they learn about the programming. So it is fun. We're open to all. The only time we have any difference in that is when if their space is limited, then we are here for Provincetown residents 60 plus. But otherwise, and often we have plenty of space, we're really open to everybody. So we have a variety of programming. We have fun. We just have a lot of fun.
It seems like
Yeah.
it. Yeah. Both the classes we walked into, everyone seemed like they were just having a blast.
It's a privilege to be here.
How can the community as a whole get involved or help out? Or
We're happy to have people call and ask about volunteering. We have volunteer opportunities in lots of ways, in programming, with some of our services as well, and just things around the building. We have a lot of space, which is great. So that's one way. We have a fundraising group called the Friends if people would like to do that. We have also have a gift fund through the town, so if people are interested in donating, they can contact me. But I always say just come up and things are open. We're here, and we love meeting people and giving tours.
well, thank you so much for sitting down with me this morning.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Giving me a tour of everything you've got going on here.
Thank you, and come by and
Oh,
visit.
perfect. Thank you so much.
Yes, they are the omnipotent.
Oh.
That was so much fun sitting down at the Council of Aging. Check out all the programming they've got on. Like they said, it's open to everyone. So especially moving into the winter, go and make a friend.
These are our friends from the Center for Coastal Studies, Agnes, Katie, and Molly. Thank you so much for making some time to be here this morning.
Yeah, thanks for letting us hang out.
Of course. And also thank you for all the science work you do. And someone's got to do it, right?
Yes.
What big projects have you got working on now?
I'm looking at seagrasses, why they're disappearing. They're really, really important for our coastal ecosystems. They're really important for carbon sequestration, stabilizing the coast, which Katie can tell you all about. And they're disappearing bit by bit. Actually, the Cape, most of the eelgrass in all of Massachusetts that has disappeared was around Cape Cod. So we're really trying to figure out what is going on.
Are there theories as to why?
Many.
Right.
People walking to Boy
people,
Beach.
Yes, people is one theory. Also, warming sea temperatures, water temperatures, nutrients, all the nitrogen that's in the water, and also something that most people don't think about is turbidity, all the stuff that's floating around in the water. So not enough sunlight can get to the plants down at the bottom, and they don't photosynthesize. So, yeah.
What would that mean for our ecosystem if grasses like that
If the
disappeared?
grasses disappeared, we would have much less biodiversity. They're like a little biodiversity hotspot.
Yeah.
We would have, the water would look dirtier because the nutrients don't get taken up by the seagrass. We would have more erosion. So it's, all around bad things if the seagrass disappears.
Yeah. I imagine erosion's the biggest
especially
problem
here,
for our
yes.
life here out on this tiny
that's
little
true.
spit of land.
It's an immediate thing. We don't really feel the ocean temperatures going up on a daily basis, but we definitely notice erosion,
Right.
So Katie, you're a geologist and you're studying erosion, specifically erosion here on the Outer Cape.
I am. That was a great segue, Agnes. So I'm doing a lot of work looking basically where does the sediment go on Cape Cod. So looking at we do a lot of work in Wellfleet. We're working with the Herring River Restoration Project in Wellfleet, which I mean is something that people have been talking about for decades, and they just broke ground on it this spring, which is really exciting. That'll restore more than 1,000 acres of what once was salt marsh and now has been more and more degraded, and the river system has become like less and less healthy, really not supporting a whole lot of life and biodiversity. So there you go, Agnes. I'm an ecologist yet. But it's been really interesting. We've also been doing a lot of work at Duck Harbor in Wellfleet, which, speaking of erosion and also seagrasses, it is in January 2021, there was an event where the water overtopped the dune and poured a bunch of water, a bunch of sand into that low-lying area behind it, and now pretty much every month on the astronomical high tides, we see a bunch of water come in, and it's actually killed 120 acres of trees from the salt water. But it's been really interesting because it's almost like the system is starting to restore itself. So Duck Harbor used to be a harbor, it used to be open, it used to be kind of a thriving salt marsh. It was part of the Herring River system, and now it's getting flooded pretty regularly with salt water. So it's starting to almost transition semi-naturally into a salt marsh. So it's been really interesting to watch kind of nature take over in one direction, and then this other larger Herring River Restoration Project where we're really working to kind of reverse some of the actions that were taken in the early 1900s.
Well, some of that type of change will happen naturally. A lot of times you see big changes like that and you're like, no, that would happen even without us being here.
It's definitely interesting. I mean, I think in terms of the like Herring River restoration, I mean, they put in a restriction right at the mouth of the Herring River thinking, oh, that'll make the mosquitoes less bad. And that was
It made it much worse,
incorrect.
right?
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. The mosquito, yeah, I mean, any sort of like standing water on the marsh is a little brutal for the mosquitoes. When the overwash first happened at Duck Harbor, I mean, that first summer in Wellfleet, everybody will tell you that it was absolutely brutal to be out there. I mean, we have our bug shirts. We should have worn our bug shirts.
We should have.
Oh, they're zipped hoods, tight cuffs.
Nice little mesh on the side.
So you can breathe. But it's like, you feel invincible. You're like, I can go anywhere with a bug shirt because the bugs won't get me.
Well, also saltwater mosquitoes are like somehow much more vicious than freshwater mosquitoes.
That's something I also learned.
Yeah,
so
me too, right?
They're bigger, they're gnarlier, they don't respond as well to bug spray. And it's like a little tricky in terms of management of them because they're not considered a public health concern. They're just like a nuisance mosquito. They're not a vector for any diseases. So it doesn't like automatically trigger any sort of response. But the Cape Cod Mosquito Control was doing some good work clearing out a lot of the old ditches and getting the water to flow through better so that the mosquitoes weren't just thriving.
There was one summer, was it last summer or the year before, where it was just like absolutely the worst?
That was maybe
step out of
thanks to Duck Harbor.
Yeah, I think it was.
That would be it.
So you're studying erosion. It's my understanding that it's eroding off of Truro and then coming around to Provincetown. Is that not
right,
true?
So I mean, there's a variety of kind of sediment transport paths, and I mean that's kind of how you can see that's kind of like how the hook of Provincetown was formed. Is that the sand is coming? Yeah, am I gonna do the?
Yeah.
The arm.
Yeah. This is really what I thought I would be doing.
Can do it.
Yeah. So it's one of the things that the center does is we are kind of really working to track down those sediment transport pathways and kind of figure out where do we expect to see erosion, where do we expect to see accumulation. And it's hard because, you know, we live on this like ephemeral spit of sand that literally just like the glaciers kind of, and I mean, Provincetown is just, it's all dunes, so it's all the wind. So it's been really interesting to kind of see what we can do for this area that we all love.
Well, it's so delicate and it can change like that. Like had that storm been as bad as it looked.
Yeah. I did notice that there was a like kind of a blight affecting the evergreen trees in the dunes. Is that going to affect erosion moving forward? Any idea?
What does it look like?
It's all the pine trees in the dunes are turning orange.
So
Like,
that might be saltwater
It
spray,
could be saltwater,
right?
yeah.
Okay.
Because in Duck Harbor, when it was like scrub pine, and you can see, I mean, if you do what I do, which is go on to Google Earth and scroll a lot. This is like my favorite pastime. Like Friday night, I'm on Google Earth,
You're on TikTok. She's on Google Earth.
You know, it's fine.
That's
It's
why I'm
good.
stupid.
No, you'll do it now and you'll be like, oh, I see. But you can see that there's this whole area that's just the trees are dead. And when you went there, the Park Service this spring mulched them all to let the water flow through a lot better and a lot faster. But it was dead trees, and it was, you know, it felt like apocalyptic, you know, because they're all with these orange needles, and they're just, but it's just because they don't like getting their feet wet and salty. They're not used to getting their feet salty.
So it's not as dire as it looks.
It might be.
Okay. Okay.
Molly, some good news?
So, wow, what a bold choice. Let's see. Good news is that, so we started at Duck Harbor on June 1st was our first field day, and it was very apocalyptic looking, super just like gray and sad and sticky.
They just mulched the whole thing.
Yeah, and now whenever you go out there, it's really beautiful. There's a lot of salt marsh plants everywhere, a lot of fiddler crabs. So that's nice to see life.
Are fiddler
growing.
crabs the ones that eat the grass?
Way to make it sad, Harry.
No,
Yeah, that's my good news.
They're not.
Thanks.
We can talk about this.
Okay.
The fiddler crabs are the one with the one big arm that's kind of wavy.
Yeah,
The crabs that eat the grass are the purple marsh crabs. And what they do is they live on the ground, they burrow into the sediment, and then they go around the roots, which is not really healthy for the roots. So the plants die, and when they are all over an area, you can, like in Western Marsh, when you paddle out there with a kayak, you can actually see it looks like craters, it looks like a moon landscape. And then every time a wave hits that area, a little bit crumbles into the water and a little bit more, and that's how the marsh gets smaller and smaller.
But we're here for the fiddler crabs.
Yes.
We like
We
them.
like the fiddler.
Yeah, we like
like
fiddler
them.
crabs.
Yeah.
Fiddler
like
crab. I like
They're
that.
really
Yeah.
cute, you know.
I like
Yeah.
that.
That's a geologist. Are they cute?
Yes.
They can stay.
Well, thank you so much for coming in. Thank you for all the incredible work you do. How's the custard doing? Just because we haven't checked in.
Oh, the custard. The custard in the jar is
Yeah.
as smelly as ever. I have not opened the jar since I was here in the
Did
winter,
you open the jar?
spring. At one point I
I
did.
think we did
yeah.
open the jar here.
Yeah,
That
we
smells
did.
Just a
still in my
crack, and
nostrils.
yeah.
You're
terrible.
also looking for
Still terrible.
volunteers.
Oh, we have plenty needs for volunteers. So
Always.
part of the work that we're doing in Duck Harbor is we're looking in that area that had all the trees, and they mulched all the trees. But we're really trying to look at how did the area look in the past. So we're taking sediment cores. Sediment core, like imagine, have you ever had a milkshake? Have you had a milkshake?
Once or twice.
A few times. So imagine, I don't know if that was that filthy?
No.
Okay.
Unless you
Unless
meant
you want
it,
it
filthy.
to be.
Anyway, if you ever had a milkshake and you put your straw in the milkshake, put your thumb on the straw, and you lift it up. That's kind of what we're doing, but with like a larger aluminum tube, and the milkshake is mud.
Yeah.
So we're doing that. It's a little bit trickier because when it's normally mud, actually in Duck Harbor it's a lot of sand. So we're very strong now.
Yeah.
We've been using a sledgehammer to hammer our cores into the mud, and soon we'll be using a utility jack to remove the mud. And we would love some strong people who would love to help us find out more about what happened in the last probably 1,000 years,
Oh my God.
and also swing a sledgehammer.
Sledgehammer volunteers.
Yeah.
That sounds fun. If I was strong, I'd be there.
You're strong.
No.
Yeah, you could do it.
Absolutely not.
Personalities count.
Oh, good. A strong personality.
It's true. I feel like I only got there on my strong personality alone.
Well, thank you so much for coming in this morning, and thank you for all the incredible work you do. If you're interested in volunteering, how can they reach out to you?
They can shoot us an email.
Perfect.
We can drop that in the
Yeah,
whatever.
put it in there for
Yeah,
you.
yeah.
Let's check out Babes and Boys. They got everything going on for you this week right here in Provincetown.
Good morning. It is Pet Appreciation Week and the Tennessee Williams Fest week. So go ahead and check that out. There's a lot of stuff going on this week. Starting today, Edie's back at brunch at the Post Office Cafe doing morning brunch starting at noon. And also Casa Valentina is back on the Provincetown Theater stage, a very limited run until October. Leah Delaria is at the club tonight singing with Mike Flanagan. And also there is a special one night only presentation of the Farmyard Follies written by Tina Burner and starring many of Provincetown singing elite going on at the Crown and Anchor Friday at 9 p.m. Also on Friday, Water's Edge Cinema is going to be showing, in honor of Pet Week, a series of films, starting with cat videos. It's exactly what it sounds like. 10% of those proceeds will go to the animal shelter. And then they will also be showing Strays and Mutt. I know I had mentioned it before. I misspoke. And Mutt is actually playing this week, so come check that out at the Water's Edge Cinema. Also on Friday at 5:30, there will be vintage jazz at Churro Vineyards with Zoe Lewis. Get the last of this summer weather and go hang out at the Churro Vineyards listening to Zoe Lewis. Sure to be a good time. Also, if we haven't mentioned it yet, Scream Along with Billy happens every Friday at the Grotto Bar. Check it out. It's a really fun time, Scream Along with Billy. Also, Saturday, like I said, the Pet Parade will be happening for Pet Week. It's going to start at St. Mary's with the Blessing of the Animals. They're going to do a parade around 2:33 and then lead to tea where it's pet tea. So bring your pets costumes. There's prizes and contests. They'll have pet tea from 4 to 7. Also check out Tennessee Williams Fest, twptown.org for all the Tennessee Williams Fest. They're running Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And Sunday, there's going to be Stand Up for the Homeless Prevention, a comedy set at the Governor Bradford's at 7 p.m. that all proceeds will go to the Homeless Prevention Council. It's also going to be the last church on Sunday. So go to Grotto Bar, check out church, and get your last Sunday church in. Marimba Monday is happening on Monday at the Brass Wood at 6 p.m. I will be singing a song, so come check that out. Live music for free on Monday. And then Wednesday, Mike Sullivan's going to be at the Gifford House at 8 p.m. And then Thursday kicks off Mate's Leather Weekend. So lots of stuff to do this week. But definitely get tickets for the Tennessee Williams Fest. It's sci-fi themed, it's weird, it's wild, it's taking place all over town. And enjoy the pet parade. See you out there.
Thanks, Carmen and Sam, for filling us in on everything we've got going on this week here in Provincetown. Please welcome Blake Allen and Tina Berner.
Hello. Hi.
Thanks for coming in this morning.
Of course, I'm always up this early.
I'm sure, me too.
How was your summer run first?
Summer run was amazing. It was my first residency here in P-Town all summer. So we did, I think, like
57 shows?
57 shows.
Nice.
Yeah, that's a lot.
That's a lot of shows.
That's a lot.
That is a lot.
Yeah.
When you think of it, it's like 2 full days of the same show.
Oh my God.
57 hours.
Yeah.
How did
Wild, right?
How
It
did
is,
you find
when you put it like
Provincetown? Did you like being here for this chunk?
Yeah, I
big
mean,
chunk of time?
I love it. It's an amazing community, and it's just magic. It's very magic, and it was nice to be in like one place for a while. It's been a long time since like Drag Race. We've just been like touring and touring and touring, so it was nice to actually just be able to sit somewhere and get to know people and be part of the community.
I feel like that's the biggest selling point for Drag Race girls coming to Provincetown, because I imagine you're on a plane like every 2 days otherwise.
Yeah, it's been chaotic. I definitely have some good Delta miles.
Not anymore.
Pun intended.
Oh.
No. Oh, you team because of the new shake up.
Oh no, because we've been here for 57
That's
shows.
true.
Yeah.
They don't expire that fast.
Yeah.
Well, we're not racking them up like we were last
Right.
time.
That next year status, you know what I mean?
So how long have the two of you been working together?
2016.
Okay.
Yeah, it's been math. I can't do math this early. 7 years?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, like 4 years.
Yeah.
That's how long we've been working together, since 2016.
Yeah. Wow.
Look at that. The 2016ers.
How did you all come together and start working together?
We met on a reality show.
No way.
And then Tina had this great idea to start doing parodies based upon cult classic movies. The first one was called Witch Perfect, based on Hocus Pocus, and we did it down in the East Village, and it was such a smashing success, and we found out that we work really well together. So we started doing more and more shows, and then when she got off Drag Race, she was like, I want to release a single and then do a whole album, and then we started learning that, oh wait, this is really fun, and it's, we travel well together, we write well together, we live well together, so it's,
And we're still here.
and we're still alive.
Are you touring that Hocus Pocus show again this
Yeah,
holiday?
we're doing it with Scarlett Envy and Alexis Michelle starting next week. I go home. I go home
It
for
never stops.
literal 2 days to do rehearsal, and then we do U.S., Canada, UK, Ireland, and Amsterdam till the first week of November. So it'll be I don't have. It's been like I think a long stint of just not actually having any break till I'll have my birthday, actually November 10th. That week I'll have a
little
minute
vacay.
little vacay. We're at the end of the tour. We're flying to Dusseldorf, Germany, to go to Phantasialand. It's like a really themed amusement park. We like amusement parks.
Around Fantasia?
It's called Phantasialand.
Oh, okay.
And they have this new hotel, and it's based after like Charles Lindbergh, and like there's these huge doors that open, and it's like this pod, and I don't know, it looks fun.
It looks fun.
That
Why
does
not?
sound fun.
We've talked about it for like a while since we tour a lot and see theme parks. Yeah.
Sounds fun.
That's the way to unwind, you know?
What about this new musical that you're workshopping
Farmyard
here?
Follies.
Yes.
Let's get to it.
So we wrote an LGBTQ whodunit. It's called Farmyard Follies. It's been about 3 years in the making. I'll let you.
Yeah, Farmyard Follies, the musical.
A musical, because there's a
It takes
cow.
It's an LGBTQ whodunit. It takes place on the Fairweather Farm, which is this magical, mystical place, kind of like Provincetown, where as long as you lead with love and kindness, people are accepted, no matter who you are, what you look like, what you believe in. But then slowly, animals start disappearing, and we have to figure out what's going on.
One might say feathers begin to ruffle.
And it soon becomes utter chaos and
It's
sheer madness.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
So if you like puns, you're gonna love it.
If you love puns, and then that's the thing, but it also like dives into like the seriousness of what's going on in our country, in the world, and about being accepted. And we thought it would be really smart to like do this musical with people that are personified as animals. So it's like, because you could take your kids to a show and be like, oh, there's gonna be some dancing animals, but all of a sudden they're like, wait a minute, why doesn't the cow like their udders? What's non-binary? Like it's this whole like, it's funny, it's crazy when you think about it that we decided to write this musical, and then it became so much more than it was supposed to be, I think, in a sense, and it means so much to people. And we wrote most of it here in Provincetown. We finished our first draft as we pulled into Boston Harbor last year. We even got these little, Riley the Rooster tattoos. At Mooncusser here.
On the last day.
Yeah, it's the whole. It's based about Provincetown. It's about that place, and we're putting on a production of it here with all of the amazing talent here, and it just means so much. And it's one night only, but it's changed our lives to what we knew this could be, and we knew if we assembled the right people and put it in, it would be such a special project that would live on, forever.
And you've got some of our friends of Wake Up in the cast, Brittany Rolfe.
Yes.
Anne Hutchinson. Is it Brent or Anne in the show?
It's Anne.
Anne?
Yeah. While playing Sheila the sheep, the drunk secretary.
Yeah.
No, honestly, I obviously don't know a lot about the specific characters, but the casting seems so right.
I mean, the
casting's perfect.
It's
Yeah.
spot
It's
on. To see
wild.
these people even come in the auditions, it was just like, Anne gave one of the best auditions I've ever seen.
Oh.
And
Yeah,
just
it
like
was
came
wild.
in, it was just wild, and you'll sit in there, and
Yeah,
it's
was
amazing.
really
yeah.
fun. And you'll leave with all the tunes stuck in your head because they're all catchy.
I mean, they have to be. We wrote it.
Golden Age style songs, so it's really cool.
What role do you play?
I play Riley the Rooster, so which is funny because it's my first time in almost 14 years that I'll be doing it out of drag. Like I play a character, which is interesting because to me is drag is a character, and that person like Tina Burner has been there for me that whole time. So it's almost like stripping it all down and just being vulnerable and leading a musical out of it, which is very interesting.
Nice.
Yeah, to say the least.
Wow, that's really exciting. Are there future plans for the musical?
Yeah, I mean, of course, the big plan is,
Eventually go to Broadway or go to the West End, but it's a long process, and
It's a long
this is just like
process.
a stepping stone, right?
I think it'll be a good one though. The casting is amazing.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
It's really exciting.
It's very exciting. It's tonight, one night only, at the Crown and Anchor, 9 p.m. You can get tickets in the link somewhere here in the video.
Only at thecrown.com.
Yeah.
Break a leg.
Yeah.
Thank you. Break a lash,
Break a wall.
Thank you so much for coming in today. Break a leg tonight. Get your tickets now. Only at thecrown.com. That's it.
That's it?
Yeah.
Oh, one more tiny little thing. I want to say congratulations to my BFF, Rocco, in Miami. He just settled his lawsuit with Ron DeSantis. Ron DeSantis was trying to take away his liquor license for having drag shows. Do you remember this?
Yes.
This started over a year ago. They just settled on Tuesday. Everybody's going to get to move on with their life. Fuck you, Ron DeSantis. And we'd like to thank the sponsors of our show.
Yeah, the Crown and Anchor, the Provincetown Brewing Company, the Boat Slip, Shipwreck at the Brass-Key, and also the Provincetown Business Guild.
Thanks for waking up in Provincetown.
Wherever you are.
And we'll see you next Friday.
week.
Good morning, everybody. Wake up.
Wake up, wake up.
In Provincetown. This week featuring